Hey everybody, it's Randy Pomfrey with Cummings and Company Realtors, and today I have another Cummings and Company agent here, and he just moved into his log cabin in the woods. That's amazing. He was somewhere else 10 seconds ago. Everybody, this is Jeff Timmons. You've probably seen him on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and all over the place. So we got him here in the studio, and so tell us a little bit about yourself, Jeff.
I am a full-time realtor, also a full-time investor. Really got my thumb on the pulse of that. Um, really big into the game. Just out here trying to help some folks, and just be a top agent. Plain and simple.
And today we're going to talk about everyone's favorite topic, and that is what not to do. I hear you've got some great bad advice for us, and I think the main thing is a lot of people they think that it's good advice. That's the irony, is that like when they hear it, they're like, "Oh yeah, that sounds okay," or whatever. So let's just jump right into it. Like, what's one of the things that you've heard, experienced lately, where someone was just on a path and you had to write them on the right path?
I got you. And you know what I'll do? I'll avoid the prototypical ones where it seems like we're trying to do something or not. I'm gonna tell you one that's just crazy straight up. I had a client who's, I don't know, great Uncle Jerry, who didn't buy a house since 1992, said you need to pay $10,000 left for any house that you buy. ten
The ten
thousand dollars
thousand
less.
dollar less rule, $10,000 off. Yeah.
Yep. For
And he
what
didn't
reason?
let him. And was this guy coming along on appointments and stuff, or this was just stuff in his ear?
Oh yeah, this is something that he didn't tell me about. I showed him three properties and I couldn't get to the bottom of the, hey, you said you liked this and that about each one. I'm sitting there looking at the boxes. I'm like, man, this, let's just call him John. I'm like, John, this is really lining up. And I'm like, what's I had to call him back in. I said, hey, let's have a meeting. So I got some coffee. We sat back down and I said, hey, tell me what's really going on. Like, if you're, got some different things happening, you got to maybe wait what's your time? Is something going on? And he said, Jeff, I'm gonna be honest with you. He's like, Uncle Jerry told me that I should be paying $10,000 less for any house that I buy. Is that true? You can't make it up.
I'd be like, let me show you a house where you can get it for $10,000 off. And what's more important to you, the house or $10,000 off? The 60 bucks a month that you're going to save to get something that you really don't want. Yeah, that's
And
crazy. Good old Uncle Jerry.
Uncle Jerry.
I don't have an Uncle Jerry. That sounds like a good uncle name, though, Uncle Jerry.
Yeah, call him whatever you want, Uncle Phil, Uncle Tom, whatever he was. Is whoever is, hasn't bought a house since the 80s is going to try to tell us what to do here.
Squawking in your ear. Let me give you some advice. And I see him pulling up his pants while he's doing it,
Oh
stretching.
yeah.
Let me give you some advice. Let me tell you what you need to do. Don't listen to that realtor. This is what
He only does this for a living.
sound effects are no extra charge, folks. So what else you got for us? Like what else are people doing like in general that they should just cut it out?
Okay, my favorite one, and it just has to be said, we have the generation before us who already own homes. We obviously know what age bracket is buying homes right now, but it's the one before who they had the great opportunity of being able to refinance in the COVID rates. And now it's nobody should buy a home until you see 2% again. Oh my God. If I hear someone say I'm waiting for 2% again, I might blow my brains out. I mean, I'm just so sick of it. Yeah, right. Um, guys, that's not a reality. I mean, you need another global catastrophe, and I don't think that that's worth a 2% interest rate.
Yeah, and I wish I could. Wonder if I can. Oh, I can share screen. I've not with this new program. I have not done it yet, but let's let's find this. Let me see. I think I can make this happen. Let's go share. And let's see what I'm going to share. All right, it's asking me what I want to share. All right, this is good stuff. Now I just have to make sure that I share my preview, which, oh, window, buy now or buy later. Oh my gosh, if this works, it's just going to be amazing. So I think did it change for you? Are you seeing something different?
No, sir, I am
Yeah,
not.
I'm not either, but I do see. Oh, I got to add it to the stage. Look
There
at
it
that.
is.
Now we're just tiny little people, and this is real big. So this is what we put in front of people. This is a little bit older now. It's a little bit out of date, but um, if you're buying a $300,000 house, you know this is what your loan amount would be. You'd be putting down 10,500 at standard FHA. Blah blah blah. If your interest rate was 6.5, so let's see what happens if you would have waited 2 years. So 2 years from now, let's say the rate drops down to 5.5%, because we just heard the other day that they're only expecting to do one rate drop in 2026. And I listened to Jerome Powell, like, he's preaching the gospel. And they're saying that, like, they're really done with the rate lowering and stuff for now. So we're probably not even going to see this in 2026, but let's just pretend that it's going to happen. um, so if you reduce the payment, your payment's going to drop to 1978. It's going to start out at 2300. It's going to drop by 300, going to be 1978. But if you wait and you buy the house at the future price, you're still not going to get 2%. And your payment now is going to be $2,300. And the difference is you're not going to be able to refinance out of that because it's already the lower rate. People don't understand prices are going to continue to rise. And I don't know which family member was giving that advice, but it's definitely bad advice, because now you're going to be stuck with it. And here's the worst part: you get equity by owning it for 2 years, you get no equity by waiting. So it's terrible.
Money earned.
Pop back to us here. Close window. Man, I also updated my computer. I'm just doing too many things at the same time, because you should never update your computer, start using a new program, and chew bubble gum at the same time. It's insane. So yeah, waiting for 2%. I don't think we're going to see that this decade. I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb. I'm going to be Jared James for a minute. I'm going to go out on a limb here and make a prediction that we are not going to see 2% limits. So 2% rates. So we're halfway through the this decade. I'm going to go out on a limb and say we're not going to see 2% this decade. I don't believe it's going to happen. I don't really think we're going to see it again in the near future at all. I'd love to see it. It'd be great for business, but I don't think it's going to happen. Any other interest rate woes, or did you want to move on to something else?
I mean, we can move on to something else. I had another one. And what was this one? Oh, okay, that's what it was. We were in the basement of this house. Guy said, I have to have a basement. And young fella, and he wouldn't pull the trigger on it. And I was like, why aren't you pulling the trigger on it? He goes, well, because so and so family member, I forget who it was, this is a long time ago, says that if the ductwork isn't bulkheaded, if it isn't closed in, that means you can get condensation on the floor of the basement. You shouldn't buy that house.
Wow.
Bad
How'd you get him to
advice.
tell you this?
I asked him, and he's kind
Um,
of like, he's like looking at it. He's just kind of ogling this ductwork, and I'm like, man, this is just, I'm like, what's going on? And he goes, well, my uncle, grandfather, whatever, I forget what he said. He said that this should be closed in, or else it can condensate and put water on the floor. I was like, oh,
I had a basement where it was closed in, and it still condensated, and I had a drop ceiling, and about once a year I had to replace that tile because it was just
mm,
getting stained and it was just condensating anyway. So some systems are just gonna spit out some water. Just gonna be differences in temperature and stuff like that.
yeah, when you're below grade and
Yeah.
versus upstairs, it'll sweat a little bit. That's what I have some experience with that. But yeah, I mean, some of the other ones that I have are, just the credit myths. People think that you have to have a 700 score to buy a home when you don't. You
Yeah, I
know,
had one just today where the lady was like, I think I'm going to wait 6 more months. She got under contract, and then she said, I think I'd like to just rent that house for 6 months and um, and then wait till my credit score gets better and then buy it. And I was like, but you're using FHA. The nice thing about FHA is you're getting the same credit. If you qualify, you qualify. You're getting the same credit, just getting the same, help me out here, rate. That's the tricky word I was looking for. You're getting the same rate that everybody else is going to get with FHA. You either qualify or you don't qualify. So, she's a very intelligent woman, but there's just so many myths out there about different things that are going on. If you're going conventional, yeah, you top out your rate at about what, 760, 780, something like that. And after that, it's like A plus rating. It's all the same
Right.
at that point. Um, yeah. So that's a lot of crazy stuff going around. And then what are you hearing about money down? Like, what are people saying for the money down? Do they wait until they can save up 100 grand?
Actually, no. I mean, the internet, God, as useful, Lord, as useful as it is, it can also lead people down a lot of rabbit holes, and a lot of people have expectations when it comes to down payment assistance, is what I'm seeing. And in our particular area, they see a lot of advertising for it from the city, and I'm like, wait. They put a lot of stipulations and regulations and a lot of commitments that you have to perform, to get those grants or that assistant program, that specific one. And there's, sometimes a catch and some difficulties. And so I explained to them, hey, it's really worth the conversation with one of my preferred lenders so they can explain to you how they work and give you some realistic expectations of what your DPA would actually look like if you're going to use it.
Yep. All free money is not free. That's for sure.
Indeed.
Most of it is a loan. A lot of times you get a higher interest rate. You might have to pay it back. You probably have to pay it back. So it's good to get a nice local reputable lender. And I could go off on that for hours and hours. But I mean, I guess that's a big myth right there, is that online lenders give a better deal. What you're doing is you're quoting apples to oranges there. They're looking at someone who's putting $100,000 down, has an 805 credit score, probably has $200,000 of the bank, probably doesn't even need the loan. And they're comparing that to someone who's doing FHA 3.5% down. And they're comparing apples to oranges. And they're like, well, I want to get the rate from, bigcookie.com. And hopefully there's not a website out there called bigcookie.com that does loans, because I don't want to disparage them. But I could make some comments about some things that are kind of like, they take off, and they also give mortgages, but I don't want to say their name.
Right.
Stay away from them like the plague. They'll just tell you that you're pretty when you're not pretty, and screw you over.
Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of times, they're advertising rates with points. They'll tell
Yes.
you that you're paying points to get this rate, and people are like, "Well, gee, Jeff, what's a point?" I'm like, "Well, I'm glad you asked. Take the price of your home and just about 1%, and there's a point. You know what I mean? That just for some basic math, it's a lot more into it than that, but just to get a general idea. So if they say, yeah, this is your rate, but you're paying 2.5 points, you better have some cash on hand."
Yeah. I don't know if I feel like it was one of the deals. I don't know. It was one of the deals that passed through our office. I don't know if it was one of your deals or somebody else's deal, but there was a lender recently. It wasn't one of our lenders, of course, but it was an outside lender that somebody was working with, and they didn't give the CD, the closing disclosure to them. I'm sorry, not the CD, the loan estimate. Oh yeah, it was the people who were buying your client's house. We don't want to give out any names or anything.
I remember.
And he changed everything at the last minute on them. And he didn't give out the loan estimate until like a week before settlement. And I was just like, that has to be, I don't think it is, but it should be. And it has to be like against the law, because the loan estimate is the thing that you're supposed to get in the beginning that says, hey, this is what you're going to spend your money on and everything. And I was just reviewing, in fact, I still have it up on my other screen here, for Myra and Tari. And I'm sorry, Tari, not Myra. I was doing something for Myra as well, but for Tari, reviewing a thing where They gave her 1,000 different things, but they did not give her a loan estimate. So she doesn't even know what her charges are going to be. And she was complaining about how they were doing this and they were doing that. And I'm like, yeah, they're not even telling you what your fees are. You're going to get to be a week before settlement, and it's going to be a bait and switch. And they're going to be like, no, you're paying all this extra fees now and you're stuck with it, because what are you going to do? Not buy the home at the last minute and lose all this money? So luckily we got her changed over to one of our local lenders. I'll go ahead and call him out on it, Chad, and he came in and saved the day. He's going to do it FHA, going to get it closed in 2 weeks, still going to close by the end of the year. So 2 thumbs up. Shout out to Chad.
That's a win.
Kudos. What else you got for us? What's some of the things that I love that you got all the reasons why people aren't buying. Are there any other things that they're hearing from family members? I tell you what, while you're thinking, I'll jump in and share one. One thing that I do is I make them tell me, like, right from the very beginning, and I ask them this question. This is the weirdest thing, and they always give me a funny look. But I'm like, "Who else knows that you're buying a house?" and they're like, "Well, like my coworkers do." And I just met with a guy named Gabriel not too long ago, and he disclosed to me that his coworkers knew. And I asked him specifically, I'm like, "You're getting advice, right?" And he's like, "Oh yeah. They're telling me things. They're helping me out." And I was like, "What kind of advice are you getting?" And we went through that stuff step by step. Some of it was okay. Some of it was off the wall. There was one guy that told him, he said, "Plan on it taking you a year." To which I immediately just put the gun to my own head. And I was like, it is not going to take a year. It's going to take us 1 to 4 weeks to find you a house, 4 weeks to settle. You're looking at 5 to 8 weeks from beginning to end. Like, this is how we do it. This is the plan. We get you ready and stuff like that. I said, it sounds like he either had a terrible situation or he wasn't ready to buy, one or the other.
Or he bought a short sale home.
Yeah, or something terribly tragic that, is going to happen.
Well, I do remember one now, and this is kind of more general than it is specific, but I can remember one specific person telling this to me. Why do we let other people who are not the professionals qualify us to buy a home? I had a young lady who wanted to buy a home, and she wouldn't do anything because her dad was telling her, "You're not ready to buy a house." Well, Dad, I understand that you care, but she hasn't even talked to anyone or tried. And you're kind of stifling that opportunity, and losing time. Like you said, you were talking about equity gains earlier, and so now we're losing time because this person allowed someone who is not making the decisions in their life to dictate whether or not they're qualified to buy a home. How about the lender does that?
Yeah, I had a young man that's my son's age who his dad told him that he wasn't ready and he put it off. And it's been about 18 months now.
Well, do that math real quick. That's about 4.5% on 400,000. What's the lost amount there?
Almost an 18 grand. Yeah, that he's lost out on that. Like, it's crazy.
It's wild.
So let me hit you with a couple things. You tell me if you're seeing this or not. Skip inspections. They're a waste of time.
No, not seeing that at all.
Good. Thank God for that. How about lowball every offer? You seeing that a lot?
Every day, all the time. Can we get it for less? I'm sorry, but no, you can't.
That one's alive and well. How about marry the house, date the rate?
I still use that. Hard to get it across though. Not everyone, receives it well.
Here's one that I haven't heard in a long time, but maybe you've heard. Buy the most expensive house you're approved for.
No, I haven't heard that. Interesting.
I think as an agent, I think it's great advice. I think you guys should all do that. But I do say something very similar to that. And I tell them, like, you should buy you should buy as much as you can comfortably afford, not necessarily approve for, because a lot of times that's much higher, but comfortably afford. Because even though I want you to buy and sell a house every 2 to 3 years, you're going to be much better off buying a house that's going to make you happy for 5 years, 10 years, something like that. Like, I don't need to do all my deals with one person. Let's
That
just get you something that you're going to be good for a while.
that's the secret. And my clients, when they, because I try to educate my clients as I'm working with them, right? And once they start to understand a little bit more of the ins and outs, and they see that, I'm advising them in a way where it's to their benefit, even if it's to a detriment to ourselves. Like you said, hey, I'd love to sell you a house every 2 years, but the better advice for me to give you is to buy a home that you're actually going to like and enjoy for a while. Get comfortable in it, earn some equity, build up from there, and I think when they see that, it really makes them basically your advice is beyond reproach at that point, and that's a valuable position to be in because that person is open to learning. You know what I mean? I think it's really something we need to get out to everyone looking to do this.
And that's why I like the fact that we do these informational sessions and teaching and training sessions before we begin, because one thing I found, especially with my children, is you got to teach them these things before they need the knowledge. Because once they get to the point where they need the knowledge, they will find that knowledge on their own.
Right here, right here,
Yep.
phone.
Yep. Just use the good old phone. So let's switch gears for a second and talk about sellers, because we haven't talked about sellers at all. I got one for you. Never lower the price. Start high and, and hold on to that. Like, list it a little bit above. Like, let's start high. What do you think about that?
Alive and well. I actually just made a video on this, Randy, and it's a little like that, but not entirely. It's the never lower it, but it's always start here so you can end where you want to. And I basically dove right in and just crushed that whole theory, just completely shredded it with data and facts and everything else and experience. Um, and yeah, that's really terrible advice, guys. That's
Yeah.
terrible advice.
Don't do that. Um, I just was looking stuff up. Tell everybody your reasons for selling. I don't think you should ever tell anybody the reasons. I tell you what, though, when I come into your house, if I'm working with the buyers and I come into your house and I go into your owner's suite and I see the closet half full, like only clothes on one side of the closet and they're all one gender clothes or something like that, I'm jumping to conclusions there, like what's going on. And the reality is, keep your business off of Facebook as well, because my clients will tell me, they'll be like, oh, I researched Jeff and Susie and I think that they're having problems because they keep posting stuff, like, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, nobody needs to know. When my buyers ask me why they're selling, I'm like, because they want to go live somewhere else. Like, I don't know. Like, it doesn't matter. Let's get the house for the reasons that we want to get the house and not so much focus on other people's business. That's my thought.
Right. I got one. Never sell your home in a higher interest rate market.
Hmm.
Silly. I really detest that because I think that the sellers who would sell their home in a stronger seller's market and then buy their next one are still in a more advantageous position because, as you stated earlier, the demand there, it's a stronger seller's market, so their prices are firm. They're going to get more for their home, right? Prices are solid. And then when the rates eventually do come back down after they've already bought their next home, they're now going to get the benefits of that as well. So basically, you crushed it. You crushed
Yeah.
it.
And the reality is, if rates are high, or let's just forget about rates for a second. If it's a buyer's market and you're a seller, well, you might lose out a little bit on the selling, but you're going to gain on the buying. And if it's a seller's market and you're a seller, you're going to gain on the seller, but you're going to lose on the buyer. Like, it's never going to flip flop like, oh, it's a seller's market and now it's a buyer's market 10 seconds later.
Right.
So the markets just don't change. We look at these rotating every couple of years or something like that. So the reality is, it's all going to even out. And you have to do it for the right reasons that are for you. So
Right.
when you're thinking about, like, so if you got someone, what are we at? December 15th. We're halfway through this month, 23, 24ths, if you love fractions, way through the year. We're wrapping it up. If you're in your advent calendar, you should be halfway through it right now. And if you got someone who is looking to make a move right now, Jeff, what would be the good advice that you would give them if they're looking to do something right now?
I would tell them to be convicted in it and really do it because I mean, I'll give you an example. I have one right now that I'm trying to, young lady who is super motivated, and I was I said there's really no economical reason to wait until after the year, and she agreed because she's very hungry for it. And I said let's do it. So she was decisive. We went out. We went and saw her favorites. We spent a lot of time making that list and finding the right homes to go see. And day one, there it was. And I would say just do it. If you're looking to do it right now, then do it right now. You
And
know,
you started preparing her when? When did you guys start talking?
oh, we started talking around August.
And she just got herself ready. She followed the directions
Yep.
and she got herself ready and now she's good to go. So like I feel like if you're ready, you're ready. Like if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. I'm just saying the same thing you're saying in a different way with different
Yep.
words, but if it's worth doing, it's worth doing right. Go all in.
Exactly. And it's gonna sometimes it does take preparation. Like for this young woman, let's call her Brianna, you know, her she had to do some preparation, but she followed it to the letter, and boom, here we are. I'll tell you another cool, really, like, this is a cool testimonial. The day she was pre-approved is the day we submitted. Same day. Approved, saw houses, offer in.
And
That's
she went
awesome.
after it. So we're going to follow her and see how she does. And hopefully she's closing on her house in January. That'd be
That would
awesome.
be no, December 30th.
That is amazing.
Let's go.
Two thumbs up for that. So, oh, look at that. Fireworks. So, how can people what's the best way that people get a hold of you? Are you DMing now? Or are you still using the phone?
Uh, I mean, I can answer DMs. I don't mind DMs. I don't mind cell phone call. Shoot, email me, guys. Email me. I don't care.
No matter what generation you are, Randy's generation, email.
My generation.
The in between. You're like are you a millennial?
I'm a millennial. Yeah.
Yeah, you're a millennial. So are you a DMer? Is that the
I'm
millennial thing?
more of a texter and a caller, but I
Text,
mean,
text
I
and
do
call.
DMs.
All right. So give us your number.
443-977-8580.
And we'll put that on the screen and stuff as well when we do this in final production. So, and then if they want to reach out to you, is your handle on Instagram Jeff Timmons or what is it?
It is your bearded realtor.
I mean, you gotta stand up a little bit and turn and give us the full. There we go, the full. Yeah, because I don't think people can really appreciate the size of that. I mean, that's like almost 3 buttons deep on
Oh,
there.
it's
Yeah,
out there.
very full and rich and Santa like.
Oh yeah.
All right, so that's it for us for today. Don't follow the bad advice. Follow the good advice. Come, sit down with Jeff, do the whole thing, and the reality is you just got to get started early and just get moving on it. Like whatever you're looking to do, just get started. Take that first step.
That's it.
Any last words of advice, Jeff?
Guys, I hope to talk to each and every one of you because at the end of the day, me and Randy are out here to genuinely help people. That's what we're doing.
All right, great advice. Thanks, Jeff. See you around.
See ya.